All eyes on Fernando Hernandez. And the ball rolls in San Pedro Sula. Honduras and the United States, both sides with 2 points from the first 2 games of the octagonal, both drawing against Canada and El Salvador, and now both in search of their first win in these World Cup qualifiers. And an early attack for the United States, it just goes wide of what would have been a dream start for George Bello.
George Bello getting a taste of World Cup qualifying early on, getting forward, winning that second ball, and you're right, that didn't miss by too much. That's a great early start by the U.S. playing on the front foot a little bit and trying to create a chance early on.
High press from Sargent. It is 4 across the back for Honduras with Andy Najar and Maynard Figueroa, the 2 Major League Soccer players on the Honduran 11 tonight. Marcelo Pereira and Diego Rodriguez joining them in that back 4 for the Uruguayan coach Fabian Coito. Did play a couple of seasons in domestic Honduran football, including a title in the mid-90s with Olimpia. It's an energetic start from Ricardo Pepi. Rather Pulisic driving it into the box. It's recovered by Tyler Adams. Our first glimpse at Matt Turner. It's catapulted forward for McKenzie. Choco Lozano just running out of real estate. It'll be a throw for the United States. So Josh Sargent, Christian Pulisic, and Ricardo Pepi, the attacking trio for the United States tonight. And Greg Berhalter has made a big issue of trying to get players in behind and looking to do just that now with Adams making the run at the near side. It's Sargent on the ball, dispossessed. And Honduras puts out the fire.
Oh, and if he could have got to that, Tyler Adams had busted along to get up on that far side. And if Josh Sargent could have just got a touch and got it across, set up nicely to be a nice little tap in there for Tyler Adams.
And foul whistled against the aforementioned Tyler Adams. Does have to be on his best behavior. He's one of 2 U.S. starters who are just 1 yellow card away from suspension, along with John Brooks. Jonathan Rubio taking a hard fall. And San Pedro Sula, always a difficult place to play, and the fans trying to make it as tough as possible for the Stars and Stripes, though. U.S. unbeaten in 7 straight against Honduras across all competitions. Ball lifted onto the box, flicked on, and no trouble for Matt Turner in goal. Adams. John Brooks anchoring that 3 center back defense. A bit of pressure applied that time by Sands. And again, for the World Cup qualifying debutant. And Figueroa could only put it out as a teammate needing some attention.
And James Sands is one of the guys that I'm really focused on today. Himself and Kellen Acosta replacing Tyler Adams in the heart of that midfield, and just how quickly they establish a balance between themselves when one steps a little bit higher, when one drops a little bit deeper to maybe orchestrate the attack and start the plays off there, taking the ball off the center backs. And you see the little bit of contact there. Rodriguez catches a hand to the face there from James Sands. But again, just how they're able to work in tandem. When one steps, if the other one is there supporting with the balance, how they're able to break down plays, to slow up Honduras in their direct attack, as well as starting transition moments for the U.S.
Andy Najar getting forward now. Ball ricocheting out to the captain and all-time caps leader for Honduras, Maynard Figueroa. Two of the other games tonight have gone final. Canada continuing their impressive form at the moment as they put 3 past El Salvador. Mexico came back from a goal down thanks to Jesus Corona in that 1-1 draw. Well, Costa Rica and Jamaica all level in a game that remains ongoing. It's Bello. Quick feet from George Bello. Nahar is there to stop his progress. And perhaps an opening now for Wicatrachos' scrambling Mac McKenzie and working against Nahar.
And one thing that Mark McKenzie brings to this team coming in as a third center back in this new formation is now himself and Miles Robinson on opposite sides of John Brooks had that recovery speed. So in the event that they do make a mistake, you see him with the slack pass there, he has the recovery speed to try to get back quickly and try to put out some of those fires.
Forcing his way through is Diego Rodriguez. Maybe Flores. This is a really promising approach now for Honduras, and there's Matt Turner. Sands will leave it for McKenzie. McKenzie making his first appearance since the final of the Nations League where the U.S. defeated Mexico. In fact, McKenzie playing in both of those matches for the United States. Pereira. It's a long diagonal switch dealt with by McKenzie as Sands is whistled for the foul. And the first chance at a dangerous set piece for the home side.
Set pieces is something that you heard Agucho and Ye will focus on in the pregame, and he had concerns about the U.S. and how they defended set pieces over the last couple games. James Sands has to be a little bit careful giving up opportunities in these kind of areas, whether it's a shot on goal or a chance to get some of the bigger bodies forward for Honduras to try to really compete and put something on target here to test Matt Turner.
Jonathan Rubio was on the receiving end of that and comes up limping slightly. Player who failed to impress against El Salvador in the second match for Honduras, but let's get a second opportunity tonight in the starting lineup with 8 changes in the El Salvador 11. So the left of Figueroa or the right of Arriaga?
Figueroa looks like he's lining this one up.
You tend to think that whoever places it takes it, and it's Arriaga who touched it last. Arriaga went for goal, struck straight into the wall. Nahar. Sands doing a decent job. There's a chance just wide. As Honduras with a flash of danger. The cross provided by Carlos Pineda.
And it comes from a chance where James Sands looks like he has him covered, but he just drops off a little bit, gives him that little small window to put in a really dangerous ball. No U.S. player actually wants to attack it, maybe in fear of putting it in their own back of the net, but fortunately for Matt Turner, he sees it just trickle wide beyond the post there.
A good look at the Uruguayan coach Fabian Coito, who is under some pressure to believe the Honduran dailies. There's some suggestions that he could be out of the job should they lose to the United States tonight. Rodriguez is blasted forward. It's well won by Jonathan Rubio. Here coming the dot shows is Arriaga lifting forward. It's Pineda now working against Bello. Nahar trying to get around the Atlanta United youngster. That's wonderful defending by George Bello. There's one to throw for the United States. The 4 World Cup qualifying debutants for the U.S. McKenzie, Sands, Bello, and Pepe. An average age of just 20 years old, and some defending to be done here. From a long way out is Davy Flores. And Bello just managing to avoid the corner.
And the U.S. have to be It's not just the first ball, but that second wave. And when they're dropping deep and getting into their own box, they have to still be able to get players out to try to stop some of these shots and defend these crosses.
This one dealt with by Adams. Pressure from Pepe, who didn't quite get there but did rush the pass. Now Arriaga back the other way. Andy Nahar, who was kept out of the 11, really out of the matchday squad against El Salvador. This one safely into the hands of Turner. It's understanding that Nahar would start the first match, would completely sit out the second and slot straight back into the starting 11. It's a promising approach now from the U.S., and it forces Hugo Lopez to come out. Dangerous clash just outside of the 18, and Fernando Hernandez calling for the medical team to get some attention.
And that's a harsh challenge there. Two players on the same side colliding. Ruben Flores, Lopez coming out there, making contact with his teammate, but it's a dangerous ball there by Tyler Adams. Being a little bit more direct, saying, you know what, we have players who can get in behind. He recognizes the space there, puts a ball in a dangerous area, and if Lopez isn't alert, Christian Pulisic, he's in there. Good on Luis Lopez to come out and make the challenge and make the play for Honduras, but that's a dangerous ball there by Tyler Adams.
Well, this gives us a chance to check in with the third member of our broadcast team. Jenny Chu is reporting pitchside for us from San Pedro Sula. We'll get to her. Actually, we've just heard that coaching staff has said the pitch is a bit spongy in San Pedro Sula.
And with that in mind, I mean, this is another reason why that's a good ball by Tyler Adams. Instead of trying to play out the back and Honduras having the opportunity to press you, stretch them out a little bit, test their ability to face their own goal and turn for their own goal. We'll take a look at some of the touches of Christian Pulisic early on in this game. George Bello getting forward on that left-hand side. That's going to be a nice duel there. Andy Nahar going up against George Bello, who's making his debut here in World Cup qualifying. It's going to be some really intriguing battles, 1v1 duels that are going to play a vital role in how this game turns out.
And 12 minutes into this one, it looks like a Honduras side that's really feeding off the energy of the crowd at this stadium. 31 previous World Cup qualifiers at the Olímpico. A strong record for the Cutrachos, who have won 20 of those 31.
I mean, these are the games where you really have to have your head on a swivel, because, you know, you always preach and you hear how much communication plays a role in these games. Well, in these kind of environments, sometimes you can't hear much. You can't hear your teammates. So your head has to be on a swivel, anticipating the next play, being alert, and trusting in your teammates to make the plays and be on the same page with you.
It's Davy Flores who is whistled for the foul here after some good initial work from Ricardo Pepi to win the ball back for the U.S.
And you're going to see a lot of these kind of duels. Kellen Acosta is going to have to be strong in midfield, on both sides of the ball. Comfortable and confident in possession, but then also being willing to put in challenges.
Well, perhaps a question once the lineups came out as to how much attacking we might see from Tyler Adams on this near side. We know George Bello likes to get forward on the left. We just saw Adams as the furthest man up the pitch for the United States.
Man, I think Tyler is a smart player, right? I think he has a good gauge and a good read of the game. His soccer IQ is high, and so he'll pick and choose his moments. When he sees an opportunity to get forward and support the attack, yeah, I think he'll do that. But then, being a guy who plays number 6, he has the know-how and the intelligence to recognize when he needs to be a little bit more balanced and supporting the defense.
The U.S. resetting possession, trying to draw out the Hondurans. It's an offside decision against the Americans. Pepi just coming back from an offside position. 18 years old, he becomes the second youngest American to feature in a World Cup qualifier. Christian Pulisic was 17 and holds the record. Figueroa lifted to the near side looking for Rubio, finding only Miles Robinson. It's an energetic James Sands in the early going. Player was eager to get his first minutes in World Cup qualifying.
I think Pepe, though, you just talked about him. He's a guy that everyone was kind of excited to see. The hot start that he's having right now in MLS, 11 goals. They wanted to see him get some minutes, maybe against Canada, but he gets to start tonight, and he has a big opportunity in front of him.
Acosta for Sargent. Pepe in support. Taking a slight deflection to Sargent, trying to win it back. Quarter of an hour gone. This is Arriaga for Honduras. Finding a bit of space now as the Hondurans on the break. Slotted through for Moya. Moya catches the wrong side of the net. And just how quick Honduras can counter.
It's end to end. I mean, Kellen Acosta's breaking one way, playing the ball into Josh Sargent, and turns over. Little slip there by James Sands. He has to be careful in those situations. John Brooks trying to make a play here, deciding, and he actually gets caught in no man's land because he doesn't get engaged. He doesn't cut off the pass. Miles Robinson does just enough to disrupt the shot, and in the end, it's a goal kick there, comfortable enough for the U.S., but those are the kind of moments where they have to be alert and make, whether it's making a play early on, putting out that fire, committing a foul, or just being smart and dropping off, recognizing that there's space in behind to be exploited.
Ball stays in here for Josh Sargent after Rubio went down a little easy. Squared across. It's Pulisic, the captain, does well to win it, but losing possession in the crowd. Flores. It's catapulted forward. It's Choco Lozano, 1v1 against McKenzie. Into the middle now for Moya on his right. That's an important intervention from McKenzie as the overhead is easily gathered up by Turner. Now 5 shots in just over a quarter of an hour for Honduras, who are really energized at the start.
And it's pretty clear what they want to do. They want to get the ball forward as quickly as possible, get numbers in the box, get shots off. You see the acrobatics there. That'll get the crowd on their feet.
It's Brian Moya with a flair for the spectacular, though it doesn't quite come off. Sargent is whistled for the foul. Should be some fresh legs for Honduras as well. Had 9 changes in between the opener against Canada and the game against El Salvador. Another 8 changes to the lineup tonight. In fact, the goalkeeper, Luis Lopez, the only player to start all 3 matches for the Catrachos. They'll play out through Figueroa. Pereira. Flores. Ricardo Pepi again coming back to intercept for the United States. Ole. Sargent was the intended target for Pulisic's pass. Andy Nahar looking for this switch, taking a little deflection. Kellen Acosta will leave it for George Bello. Acosta. Patient approach here from the U.S. Pulisic pulling the strings, slotted through Bello. The switch of play, back post! And there were 3 unmarked Americans to the back post. It was Pulisic who made a play for it and just beyond his reach.
And this is a great opportunity here. Kellen Acosta recognizing where the danger is. Christian Pulisic might have just drifted offside, but Josh Sargent himself there, both, neither of them can make a play on it. Christian Pulisic takes the charge and tries to get the glancing header. Sargent might have been better positioned to call him off there, but nonetheless, this is a good opportunity here for the U.S.
Acosta winning it back and drawing the foul against Andy Nahar. Acosta. Again, the switch to Tyler Adams. This is something Greg Berhalter wanted to see more of in the first 2 games. The quick switches of play, trying to make the opposition's defense move more.
The key to that, though, is when you do get him in the ball in those wide areas, how quickly can you either could have made a defender, go 1v1. You saw Josh Sargent coming into that space, actually bringing his defender over. If he's staying a little bit more central in that scenario, Tyler Adams could go 1v1 and try to get a ball into the box.
Raffled into the middle by Turner. Flicked on by Tyler initially. Arriaga. And it's a foul against the U.S. Jonathan Rubio on the receiving end. A free kick for Honduras, but deep in the midfield. So 7 straight without a loss against Honduras for the United States. 5 wins, a couple of draws. That includes that 1-0 win in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal in June in Denver, where it was Jordan Pefok coming off the bench. He scored the 90th minute game winner, his first and so far only international goal.
The drama of that moment. Do you remember that one?
Of every moment of that match. Well, that and the final against Mexico as it's lifted into the box. No trouble for Turner. As far as official competition, that was the start of what turned out to be a pretty special summer for the United States, winning both the Nations League and the Gold Cup, beating Mexico in both. Sands under pressure. Robinson. Now Pepe. Bello.
There was a split moment there. When the ball came to Bello, Christian Pulisic was in the central space right there, and Bello opted to go back. When this Honduran side gets stretched out and you beat that first line of press and you see that little small window, this is where the U.S. have to be a little bit riskier. Take that chance. Get the ball into Christian there. Let him be on that half turn and now drive at defenders.
John Brooks. Sargent. Long diagonal switch from Robinson, but won't reach George Bello. Robinson and Brooks, 2 players with the most touches against Canada in that second game of this octagonal. Perhaps a bit too much of that playing side to side between the defenders in that match, and a little more verticality wanted from the United States. Are you seeing it in the early going?
In glimpses. There's been a couple times when Josh Sargent has floated out to this right-hand side. But again, what I would echo is when you do get those opportunities, we saw that long ball by Tyler Adams, the keeper comes out and makes a play on it. But when they do get the ball in behind, when you're forcing those center backs or defenders to turn and face their own goal, continue with it. Don't now take your first touch and come back and play a safe pass. That's when you can take your risk and then the opponent's defensive third.
Brooks is under some pressure, but got it away. This is Sands now, using his body well. Acosta in the middle. Pulisic. Again, the switch doesn't quite come off. May have taken a slight whistle for the foul. And a free kick coming up from Honduras. Says Pereira. Gives it away to Pulisic. Once more is Christian Pulisic. The spacer for George Bello. Drives across back post. Sargent chasing it down. Knocked down. Pepe swings at it. Just over the crossbar on what would have been a debut goal for the teenager.
Oh, that's a golden chance, and that's probably exactly where he wants that ball to play. I mean, George Bello just plays a hopeful ball in, but it's a great one because it's floated to the back post. No Honduran player makes a challenge on it. Josh Sargent, this is so good by him. He just puts it back into a dangerous area. And Ricardo Pepe, he just catches it as it's right. He can't get over it, make the contact. But that's a really good sequence there by the U.S. You see the reaction of Greg Berhalter on the sideline. He knows it's a good chance gone by.
Trying to win in the middle. It's taken back by Figueroa. Arriaga. Triple Lozano by Pepe. Pulisic is fouled from behind. Quick whistle from Mexican referee Fernando Hernandez, who was right on top of the action. Arriaga pulls back on Pulisic. Only one of the Honduran starters tonight in danger of suspension for accumulation of yellow cards, and it's Carlos Pineda. Sargent forced to rush his pass. And here comes Rubio, leading Checo Lozano forward, and Miles Robinson just ushering him away from the ball. Adams in a battle with Rodriguez. Lozano. Lifting back post-contact. As McKenzie appears for a penalty, nothing given. Dangerous crossing. Brooks managing to nudge it away. Bellows challenge a fair one. Honduras holding on to possession.
That's a whole sequence that's mayhem there. And it starts with the U.S. just being sloppy in possession. The ball finds Josh Sargent, tries to take on players in the wrong position, and
he touches by Rubio, looking for the run of Rodriguez now. Early cross, edge of the 6, and it's the opening goal for Honduras. After a giveaway in the midfield, it's Brian Moya who breaks the deadlock. And the Catrachos strike first. It was perhaps the surprise inclusion in the attack for Fabian Coito. And it works to perfection for the home side.
And Dre, I was just talking about how this whole sequence started by the U.S. giving the ball away sloppily. John Brooks then gets dragged out of that center back position. And then it's a late recognition of George Bello there to try to come inside and make up for the loss of John Brooks in that central position. Good ball in, though, by Rodriguez, and Moya finds himself wide open inside the 6. He can't believe his luck. Coito on the sideline can't believe his luck as well. And it's a well-taken goal by Honduras to put them up 1-0 at home.
On his 10th cap, it's a third international goal for Brian Moya. And just shy of the 30-minute mark, the United States trailing at the Olympico.
Now it's about the response. We talk about the character test. We talk about this group of players showing that they mean business, showing that they're ready for this challenge, showing that they've learned from the past 2 results. Well, you're on the road now in the most difficult game of this window. You've just gone down a goal. Let's see how they respond, if they can figure it out. We want to see some more urgency. When you have chances, take them.
Low-driven cross looking for Sargent. It was Pereira who got a touch onto it, and the U.S. have a corner. Well, the equalizing goal against Canada was the first conceded by Matt Turner from the run of play. That one ended a shutout streak of 567 minutes. And tonight, the second. Pulisic calibrates. In a sense, a self-inflicted wound for the U.S. The giveaway leading to a short counter, leading to the opening goal. Set pieces a bit of strength as Pulisic drives it into the box. Knocked down by Miles Robinson. And rinse and repeat, another corner.
It's another floated ball into that back post. Miles Robinson just drifts beyond his defender, heads it down, tries to head it back into a dangerous area. Get an opportunity now from the opposite side. Christian Pulisic with a chance to put an outswinger here, but again, set pieces in our area where this U.S. team shown some strength over the summer. Can they be decisive here in the moments where it really matters?
Pulisic outswinger. Brooks was rising to meet it. It was Lozano who got the touch. Adams trying to keep it alive. And Honduras threatening on the break. Important intervention from Acosta. Referee says play on. Here's Nahar's. Pepe is the man who appeared to commit a foul. Play was allowed to continue, but now some concern for the Honduran player who is down. It's the goal scorer, Moya.
Just a tangle of legs there. As Pepe's trying to recover. See some of the pitch giving way as well. But Trey, that's another slide.
Nahar. Leaving Brendan Aronson behind. Offensive work from Ricardo Pepi as well as Pepi wins it back. And there will be a throw for Honduras.
If nothing else, I mean, you gotta give credit for that work right there by Ricardo Pepi. To stick with that play, to tracking back, to force Andy Nahar to struggle there, and then eventually to put the ball out there for a throw-in for Honduras. But that work rate is going to be infectious in this U.S. team. Whether the inspiration comes from that 18-year-old, they need someone else to continue to follow suit. When he's applying that first layer of pressure, they need the midfield to now step up and start closing some of those gaps.
The effort from Pulisic this time, it'll lead to a Honduras throw. And Anthony Robinson finding himself a little purple patch of scoring form. He just scored his first goal for Fulham a couple of weeks back in the League Cup. Now gets his first for the U.S. in a massive World Cup qualifier away from home. Sissens. Robinson. Line splitting pass to find Pepi, laid off now for Pulisic. Driving into defense for Sargent. And was poked free by the substitute Garcia. Arriaga in a collision with Pulisic. There's Tyler Adams. As Robinson forced to retreat. Sargent in the pocket of space. Laying it off nicely for Leggett. And the shots parried wide by Buba Lopez. And less than 10 minutes gone in this second half. It's a completely different approach from the U.S.
It's way better. I mean, the change of switching the point of attack by Tyler Adams. Anthony Robinson gets the ball back central, and then it's just quick movement into Brendan Aronson, into Sebastian Leggett. They find Christian Pulisic on that far post, and he's decisive again, takes the shot on, and now they earn a corner kick here.
First corner of the second half for the Americans. Pulisic over to take. In swinger edge of the sixth, Buba Lopez plucks it out of the air. One in the air by Acosta. Flicked on by Robinson. Arriaga now with Nahar in support. That's McKenzie who puts it wide to deny Moya. It'll be a throw for Honduras. It's a calm and measured finish as well from Anthony Robinson on that equalizer after Pepi's initial good work.
Hey, and it's on his weaker right foot, too.
So we'll blow it dead here.
He's actually a player who I thought had a good game and was a surprise to not be starting in this game.
Good game against Canada, you know?
Yeah. I mean, what I like about him is his willingness, his commitment on both sides of the ball. He'll get forward, but you see the desire and the way that he sprints back with a real aggression to try to get back into position and support his back line.
McKenzie's there to deal with that. This is Pulisic now to spark the counterattack. Leggett. Tyler Adams, who has stayed at that right back position. Sands. Ten minutes gone in this second half. A 1-1 ball game that both sides will be desperate to win. It's a neat challenge by Sands. Pulisic weaving his way through now is Christian Pulisic. Leggett nearly winning it back. And the foul given here against Miles Robinson as Kyoto's gone to ground. And Pulisic is slow to get up. And if there's one other player you cannot afford to lose, you're looking at him on your screen.
And he's taken an absolute beating today. But he's been the most lively player for this U.S. team, and the one who always looks like he's going to be a threat, whether it's picking up the ball and just turning and running at defenders, committing players, trying to, in doing that, create space for other players to make runs off the ball. Get another look at that goal. And it's just that early decision from Sebastian Lletget. Like, you know what? I'm just going to put the ball into a dangerous area. Ricardo Pepi, he's alert in the box, draws the defender out, and then it falls to Anthony Robinson, who's committed to getting forward. I mean, look at that celebration. The acrobatics makes that look easy.
Celebrations like that, you really wish he would score more.
Oh,
just got his first for Fulham and his first for the U.S. It's a good look at Brendan Aronson, who really provided a ton of energy in that game against Canada, scoring the opener against Canadians. It's a concerning sight for Greg Berhalter and for all U.S. soccer fans as Pulisic in some real discomfort. He's really seemed to take it upon himself since the halftime to make an even bigger impact in this match. Christian Pulisic, and you hope he's able to continue. Meanwhile, Arriaga trying to force his way through, and he'll draw the foul.
Just runs through the heart of the midfield, just between two defenders. Sebastian Lletget trying to recover there himself, and James Sands get a little bit turned in the moment there, then a little tangle of legs, and Pulisic was really struggling there on that sideline.
He's still looking a little bit shaken up. It's a collision after the ball had gone just outside of the 18, and did look to be a knock. We'll check back in, but clearly not at 100% just yet. Twice as many fouls committed by the U.S., 12-6. Meanwhile, it's Arriaga and Kyoto standing over the ball. Kyoto strikes it, doesn't get it to dip quite enough. So we tick toward the hour mark. Honduras 1, USA 1.
They're trying to say it was a slight deflection there.
So all the other games have gone final. Mexico top of the standings with 7 points. Canada and Panama inside of the top 3 with 5. If the U.S. can win this one, they'll be on 5 points as well.
They need to win this one. They need to win this one, and they need to continue the way they started off this second half. Playing on the front foot at times and recognizing when they can collectively press, recognizing when they can get numbers forward and out there in a position and in a tactical setup that's more familiar and more comfortable to them.
There's McKenzie to stop the approach of Moya. "30 minutes remain of normal time. Moya. It's Robinson. An important touch. It's Kellen Acosta now turning defense into attack. Kick to the near side for Pulisic, who's really laboring to get there. Needs a throw for the U.S. and has all the signs of a player who's going to need to be replaced. If the U.S. are to take all 3 points from this one, they may have to do it without their captain.
These are horrible, horrible scenes if you're a U.S. fan. Christian Pulisic trying to run onto that play.
I believe that was the first time he's had to attempt to sprint since coming back on, and clearly not able to continue. So Christian Roldan steps in to replace Pulisic. He had been warming up, ready to check in just in case the number 10 could not continue. And Kellen Acosta's whistled for the foul as once again Arriaga was on the receiving end. Roldan, a player who has done a lot of his work under Greg Berhalter coming off the bench, and at times has played well enough to start. Berhalter's admitted to us he had to have a difficult conversation with him to tell him, yes, you've played well enough to start, but you're too good as a reserve.
Again, what he does is he comes in and he provides that spark, he provides that life. Good movements off the ball, comfortable in possession. A different player, much different player than Christian Pulisic, who's going to get the ball, and he can run and skip by 3 or 4 or 5 players. Roldan does his work, a lot of his work off the ball, and then he's also clever in possession. You see Andy Nahar swimming by 2 or 3 U.S. players, and in the end just gets hacked down there by James Sands.
So in the course of this first World Cup qualifying window, the U.S. have lost Sack-Steffen, Gio Reyna, Serginho Dest, and now Christian Pulisic to injuries. Lifted into the box by Arriaga. Goal kick for the U.S. And of course, Weston McKennie. It's a corner kick. It did get a slight touch from one of the Americans. First corner of the match for Honduras. Lifted in by Diego Rodriguez. Sent back by Andy Nahar dangerously. Turner able to slap it down as Kyoto was chasing it down. And it's the quickness of Anthony Robinson to get there. Now Aronson. A terrific save from Matt Turner to keep the U.S. in this.
Massive save, massive save. They do well to win the first ball, but the second wave, they don't adjust well with it, and Honduras is alert. It's a really good glancing header, but Matt Turner, when called upon, strong hand there to parry it wide and keep his U.S. game in this game at 1-1.
Nahar with a change of direction. Stevie Flores, who is shaken up now, favoring that left ankle. And he looks to be in some real pain as well, so Honduras perhaps will be forced into a change of their own.
You see Andy Nahar just floated into that back post, and it's Minor Figueroa who tries to find that far post, but Matt Turner is alert. Good sprawling save there. This game has had so many stoppages. It's been hard for either team to really establish a rhythm. We take another look at the contact there.
And with Minor Figueroa, and this was the moment when he knew that he couldn't continue. Again, it was the very first sprint for Pulisic after coming back in, and at no point did it look as though he was comfortable enough to continue playing, but he had to give it a try considering the importance of this final match in his first World Cup qualifying octagonal window. Maybe Flores does look as though he's ready to get back out there for Honduras. Such an important piece of that midfield. Had a breakout season in the domestic league last campaign, and that earned him a spot on the CONCACAF Nations League team where he impressed as well. Turner coming out, awkwardly clearing it, and well off his line here as he blasts it away. It's an adventure at the back there for Matt Turner. Miscommunication with the defender.
Jose Garcia being really clever with that ball. Just puts it into a dangerous area. Almost looked like he was trying to give the ball back to the U.S., but
one by Arriaga. It's chased down by Kyoto. Miles Robinson gets her ahead of him. This is Marcelo Pereira. Nahar. And Nahar gets brought down here by Acosta. It'll be a free kick for Honduras.
These last 10 minutes, he's been real busy on that right-hand side. Andy Nahar getting a lot of touches of the ball. He sees space. He sees that Anthony Robinson's out of position. Tries to just put that ball into space. Kellen Acosta just throws his body into him to stop the play, slow things down a little bit. Honduras coming to life in this last 10 minutes. Quick free kick here now.
And thanks in large part to Nahar, who has all kinds of time to deliver across back post Kyoto. Lifted into orbit. And it's Aronson who draws the foul. Before exiting the match, Pulisic with a team-high 43 touches. No question about his influence on the 11, even when at full strength. And tonight in particular, without the likes of Gio Reyna. Here's Roldan. McKenzie. It's better from the U.S. backline as Robinson lifts it into the area, just beyond the reach of Pepe. Knocked down for Acosta.
It's better there. When the ball finds itself wide there's numbers in the box. Brendan Aronson making runs that pull the fullback out there, pull the center back out, excuse me, to create that lane for
Kellen Acosta from a long way out. Acosta! Well, he gets it to bounce in front of Lopez. Robinson is pulled by Kyoto. It's been one of the Iron Men for the United States. Miles Robinson, along with Tyler Adams, the two field players that have played every minute of these World Cup qualifiers so far.
But when the ball does go wide, we saw in that last weekend sequence there, Anthony Robinson gets it, and you see the run of Brendan Aronson on that left-hand side to draw one of the defenders out to create a 1v1 situation there for Ricardo Pepi, but he just can't get control of the ball. He tries to get a little turn there, but can't bring it in to his possession to get the shot off.
So it'll be Acosta to get things restarted. Slightly short. Robinson trying to flick it into the box. Moya into space for a dangerous counter. It's a foot race and Tyler Adams wins it. He's looking around for help as Andy Nahar looking to put it back in play quickly. Arriaga, Nahar. Garcia. Sent back through Sands. He's having himself a game, Andy Nahar, and give credit to the decision of Fabian Coito to just rest him completely in that second match of the three. Adams. Says Sebastian Lletget. Tyler Adams given space and time, goal bound, and just slapped wide again by Buba Lopez. Corner kick for the U.S.
And it's a good chance from distance. Tyler Adams, he finds himself in a central role. Kellen Acosta's drifted into that right back position, and he says, you know, I have a little bit of space. I haven't been playing centrally. Let me take this shot on. Catches it really well, and it's a good save there by Lopez.
Well, the second half has been an improvement for the U.S. Can he punctuate it with a goal? Acosta. Aronson. Once again, Acosta this time lifted in toward the penalty spot. Strong header by Sands, but sent back, collected by Kyoto, who spotted the run. Robinson scrambling back against Rivas. Once more Kyoto. Arriaga. It's driven into the area. Nahar happy to collect on the other side. Garcia. Kyoto not allowed to settle. He was closed down quickly by Sands, but turned over now. Rodriguez. Kyoto. That's a very hopeful shot from the veteran. Whew. Goal kick for Turner.
And if you take it back, I mean, you've got to give a ton of credit to Anthony Robinson initially off of the corner kick, the attacking corner kick for the U.S., the transition moments, the way that he stayed toe-to-toe with the attacker there from Honduras. We know that they have pace. We know that they have the threat of that quick transition moment. So when you have players like himself that I talked about just a minute ago, being committed on both sides of the ball to track back there and put out that fire, it goes a long way for this U.S. side.
So once again, Coito going to his bench, and it's Brian Acosta, the FC Dallas midfielder, who will be checking in. He'll replace Davy Flores, who did look a little shaken up earlier, but perhaps just resting the legs here now. Fourth substitution for Honduras. Third cap now for Brian Acosta's. DeAndre Yedlin will also check in. He will replace James Sands.
Yeah, and that change is going to now move Tyler back central.
And this will exhaust the substitutions for Greg Berhalter. So these are the 11 that will close out this match inside of the final 20 minutes for the U.S. in search of a goal that would give them their first victory of these qualifiers. The Jet battling for possession. And that change means that Ricardo Pepi, at 18 years old, in his first international appearance, will go the full 90 for the United States. Long throw by Robinson, a good one for Pepi. Dispossessed through a combination of Garcia and Pereira. Stepping forward, Yedlin looking to make an immediate impact. Lifted into the area, no trouble that time for Lopez in the air. Nahar. And really a point will not satisfy the Hondurans either, who have also been held to a pair of draws in their first two matches. This is Robinson now. Aronson. The Jet. And Yedlin. Lovely cross. Pepi! Pepi by name and Pepi by nature! The youthful exuberance of the teenager has fired the Americans into the lead.
Well, this is why so many U.S. fans were excited when they did see Ricardo Pepi's name on the team sheet starting this game. He's been doing this in MLS, being a presence in the box, whether it's taking goals with his feet, whether it's winning headers. He's his positioning, it's his intention to go and attack the ball. It's a good ball in there by DeAndre Yedlin. Give credit to this U.S. team, the way they circulated the ball, got it wide. And when they do get it wide, they have numbers there. That young man there, not fazed by the occasion, hasn't had the service this whole game, but when he got his opportunity there, he's taken it and put the U.S. up 2-1 on the road here in Honduras.
A debut goal when the United States needed it most. With a quarter of an hour to play. The Americans now in control.
What a moment for him, huh? But the thing here now for this U.S. team, we've been here before. You've been up a goal in the last game against Canada, and now how do you manage this game? How are you a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more clever?
Robinson has really provided the spark. Acosta, no nonsense, blasting it forward. Aronson will chase it down. Pushing the back from Anthony Nahar, and that is spotted by the referee. Free kick for the U.S.
Oh, Ricardo Pepi. Ricardo Pepi. Good work here by Aronson, just being aggressive to attack the ball first and foremost, and then just using his positioning there to draw the foul. But man, I'm incredibly excited for this young man. We were all anticipating, what could he do? How does it translate?
Acosta lifted in for Aronson. Just able to keep it in play, and still somehow it has gone out for a Honduras throw. The subs have made an impact. There was a triple change to start the half, but improved the United States. Yedlin involved on the go-ahead goal as well. The Jet. That's a lovely delivery now for Aronson, trying to square it. Stepping forward, Adams. Now Garcia battling against Aronson. Acosta. Getting forward, Rodriguez, laid off by Kyoto. Robertson stayed with it, but Rodriguez rising and bending away from goal. Well, he'll claim there was a deflection. Indeed, there was at the corner kick. Now for Honduras.
This is where the U.S. have to be smart now. They can't drop their level of intensity here. Rodriguez picks up the ball, top of the box. Miles Robinson is there. Tyler Adams is dropping back, trying to recover. A little deflection there. Set piece opportunity. Big moment here for the U.S.
Acosta calibrates. It's a good delivery and contact made by Arriaga. Could not keep his header down. And you said it, what a moment for Ricardo Pepi in a game like this. Comes the youngest, or rather the first U.S. international to score on his international debut in a World Cup qualifier since Eddie Johnson did it back in 2004. As we take another look at the service from Yedlin.
Talk about pressure situations, and it's his positioning. He rises early, confident header, puts it right back the way it came, and there's nothing Lopez can do. And look at the celebration. Look how much it means to him, and more importantly, look how his teammates come to him. I mean, good on Greg Berhalter to keep him in the game. He had choices to make there. Did he take him off? Did he take Josh Sargent off? He opts to go with the 18-year-old, and he's rewarded him for his trust in him.
On the game that started with Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, and Ricardo Pepi, and Pepi the only one who remains on the pitch, scores the would-be game winner. A few ticks over 10 minutes remain of the 90. These are huge points in play for the United States.
And these are a huge 10 minutes. When you talk about that learning curve and that growth and that maturity from game to game in this first window, seeing out this result is massive for this group of players and for Greg.
And flashback to 2018. After the first two games, the U.S. had 0 points after a loss against Mexico, a loss to Costa Rica. They beat Honduras in game number 3, 6-0. Now looking to pick up another 3 points against Catrachos, and this is the live standings. 3 games into this octagonal, Mexico, Canada, and Panama would still be the 3 teams inside of the direct qualifying picture, but the U.S. would be level on points with the Canadians and Panama. Eddie Hernandez will check in. He'll replace Marcelo Pereira. It's a striker on for a central defender as Coito sent Hernandez in search of an equalizing goal.
Now you have one less defender in that back line for Honduras, and this is where the U.S. can try to get that third goal. Being just smart defensively, waiting for Honduras to commit numbers forward, and then looking to strike on the counterattack.
The man of the hour, 18-year-old Ricardo Pepi. Won by Leggett. And Roldan did well to pick up the loose ball. Arriaga. Arriaga is fouled by Kevin Acosta. Free kick for Honduras. Another situation where perhaps they wanted an advantage given. Arriaga not thrilled with the referee's decision not to award a yellow card. Garcia. Arriaga looking to switch the point of attack. Caught down by Rodriguez. That's flighted forward now, and Turner with some work to do, rising to meet it. And to challenge Eddie Hernandez. Tall striker, all 6'3".
You're going to see a lot of this in this closing 8-7 minutes here. Just Honduras trying to get balls in the box and fight for scraps and try to win the initial blaze and just try to cause chaos in the box and force the U.S. into a mistake.
Honduras had gone unbeaten in the 4 last World Cup qualifiers in San Pedro Sula. That included a win over Mexico and an aforementioned 1-1 draw against the United States. Pulisic and Acosta both scored in that one. Both started that one, I should say. Americans with a throw high up the pitch. It's Yedlin. Understandably, in no rush. Won by Robinson in the air. Moya just trying to force his way through that time. Anthony Robinson wasn't having it. Still a throw for Honduras. And a fragile lead away from home in a difficult stadium to play. Moya, goal scorer in the first half. It's last touch by Robinson, corner for Honduras. Tense moments. Acosta measuring up. Plenty of power in toward the penalty spot. It's chased down by Rigo Rivas. Rodriguez, slight deflection, taking all the venom out of it. And the foul has gone against Honduras, right at the edge of the box.
And these are the moments now, if you're the U.S., every whistle that's blown, you're taking your time. You see the handball coming off Minor Figueroa's hand there. You're taking your time. You're taking some more steam out of this game. You're checking to see, do you need to adjust your shin guards? Do you need to tie your boots again?
Of course, some boots come without the shoelaces now, but you check just in case.
You're checking anyway. You're creating laces all of a sudden.
It's knocked down by Roldan. Straightforward approach from Honduras, just trying to get the ball as close to Turner's goal as possible. Acosta. Leggett challenging Diego Rodriguez. Blasted away by Figueroa. Sent back by Acosta for the veteran Kyoto. Now Robinson comes a long way out to meet him. Nearly given away, it has been. It's Pepe again on the front foot. He's got Aronson in support. Ricardo Pepe with the square ball. Aronson has put it away! And surely that's 3 points for the U.S. Goals in back-to-back games for Brendan Aronson. And a dream debut for Ricardo Pepe with a monumental influence.
Big moment here. We talk about the U.S. just being smart, seeing out this game, and when the opportunity presents itself, you take that third goal. They do just that. Recognizing a little mistake there on that left-hand side, Ricardo Pepi takes the ball in stride, sees Brenden Aaronson and puts it on a platter for him. Brenden Aaronson getting goals in back-to-back games. 3-1 here in Honduras. What a turnaround here in the second half. Subs coming onto the pitch and making a difference, making an impact. And this should be game, set, match here for the U.S.
A goal-ended assist for Ricardo Pepi. The goal by Brenden Aaronson, all after Anthony Robinson came in and made an immediate impact at the start of the second half with his first international goal. A 2-goal cushion now down the final stretch. And what looks to be surely 5 points through 3 games for the Americans. It would also mean that they'd already picked up as many points away from home in this octagonal as they did in all of the hexagonal in the lead up to 2018. There's Adams. Anthony Robinson. Aaronson. It's a deflated Honduras now. Plenty of time on the ball for Anthony Robinson to consider his options. The jet. And the traveling fans are making themselves at home at the Olympico. Just 90 seconds remain of the 90 minutes. Sent forward by Acosta.
Those second half changes have come in major for this U.S. team. Involved on all 3 goals. They look better in a back 4 than they did in a back 5. There just seems to be more clarity about the responsibilities for the center backs.
Chance of USA ringing out in San Pedro Sula. Heavy cloud lifted off of this USA team after some lackluster performances, and let's be frank, a questionable first 45 with a new formation with plenty of changes.
I mean, I think at this point it's safe to say not even questionable, Dre. That was pretty horrific first half. And they maybe found themselves lucky to be down just the goal.
Aaronson is slow to get up here after the foul by Acosta. Final few seconds ticking off of the 90th minute.
But the response in the second half to get 3 goals, more importantly, that first goal set the tone for them. To get that first goal coming straight out of halftime, that early into the half, okay, take some of the pressure off of you now. Now you can find your rhythm, find your moments to get the second and the third, and much better performance in the second half. Still a lot more to come from this group.
Kyoto in a battle with Robinson here. 2-goal cushion for the U.S. Lifted into the area and able to hold on was Cherner as Moya was trying to get his second of the match. 4 minutes tacked on. We played till at least the end of the 94th. Young players growing in influence. The 18-year-old Ricardo Pepi, the 20-year-old Brenden Aaronson. Acosta has his pocket picked by Tyler Adams. Once again, no nonsense from McKenzie as he gets it out. Hernandez. Nahar looking like heavy legs for Honduras. Brenton Aronson with Pepe alongside. Anthony Robinson, a burst of acceleration. Looked it in toward the box. Overhit for Leggett. Adams finding little resistance here. Pepe already has a goal to his name. It's Ricardo Pepe! Touched wide, and Leggett puts it away for the USA's fourth. A game turned on its head, and 3 huge points for Berhalter's Americans.
They love the boy. The boy chips in with the fourth, and it starts with Tyler Adams winning the ball in midfield here and just recognizing the run of Ricardo Pepe. He stays on side. He tries to get his second on the night. But again, when you talk about the subs coming on and making an impact, Christian Roldan is up there, but it's Sebastian Leggett who's on the far post and gets the tap in to make it 4-1. You see the celebration on the sideline there, and what a contribution, what a change, a stark change for the performance in the first half to gut out this result, to earn this result, and make an emphatic performance 4-1 here in Honduras.
Oh, what looked to be mounting, suffocating pressure on the United States. Suddenly breaking out into a party in hostile territory at San Pedro Sula. Aronson winning a throw. For the U.S., it'll be Anthony Robinson to take it. Only seconds remain now with the 4 minutes added on. Four second-half goals for the U.S. The U.S. slotting up into the top 3 in a direct qualifying spot, and there is your final whistle in a match marked by adversity.